Well, hello there, mama bears and professional eye rollers. We got a good one for you today. Gonna talk about some dining disasters. Let me ask you something. If you sat down at a restaurant, paid good money, and a roach dropped from the ceiling above onto your plate, are you politely asking for the manager? Or are you questioning every life decision that led you there? Because let me tell you, that wasn't even the worst restaurant experience I've had. Nuh-uh. And we'll get to that. Now, I grew up believing something very simple. When you go out to eat, you are not just paying for food. Mm-mm. You're paying for the experience, the service, and the food. Because if I wanted chaos, confusion, people yelling from another room, and me getting up every 5 minutes, I could have stayed home. My kids would give me that experience on the daily. So when I go out, I expect decent food, decent service, and a peaceful meal. Not perfection, just effort. Excuse me, I got a little bit of frog in my throat today. Now, my kids, they used to beg me, Mom, please don't say anything. Because they knew if something was wrong, oh, I'm going to say something. Why shouldn't I? That's my hard earned money. Now, I'm not rude, but I will politely say, Hi, quick question here. And that maybe turns into a full investigation. But like I said, that's my hard earned money I'm spending. If my steak gets sent back 3 times and it still looks confused when it comes back to me, we're going to talk. That's just the way it is. If my server disappears so long, I start wondering if she moved out of state, we're going to talk. And let's talk about the night my appetite left my body, like we started off with, like my soul going straight to heaven. I'm sitting there. Food looks good. I pick up my fork. Plunk. A roach falls from the light fixture onto my plate. Nobody says anything. Worst part about it was my mom and I were out with her lifelong best friend Shirley and Shirley's husband. Oh, and poor Shirley. They had really talked this place up and recommended the restaurant. So they were so embarrassed because we're all just sitting there pretending that didn't just happen. I felt so bad for them. And I'm thinking, well, this escalated quickly, but I just laughed it off so she wasn't embarrassed any further, which, under the circumstances, was extremely rare for me. But this was my mom's day, and I didn't want to mess it up. Now, excuse me, I have a story for you that you're not gonna believe. Let me tell you about the night I lost all faith in restaurant protocol. This is bad. My husband and I, we'd been moving all day. And when I say moving, I mean, oh gosh, cleaning, lifting, dragging furniture, sweaty, exhausted, looking like we'd been through something. I mean, we were so tired and such a mess. And all 4 kids were at my mom's for the weekend because, obviously you cannot pack up and move and clean with a bunch of kids. So it was just the 2 of us. Anyway, somewhere along the line, we had missed both lunch and supper. And by this time, I mean, it's getting up in the evening. It's pretty late, which is dangerous because now you're not just hungry, you're desperate, and your choices are very, very limited. So it's late, we're tired, and we're about 10 minutes from this place called Po Folks. I don't know if you have one by where you live, but here's the thing. We already knew this place had terrible service. We knew it. Yes, we knew this, but it was late and it was the only thing open, and we were exhausted and we were hungry enough that we didn't care. Mistake number one. And my husband said to me before we even walked in, because we knew what was going to happen. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. Please, Tammy, just don't say anything. Let's just enjoy our meal. I'm tired. I just want to eat. Let's just go in, eat, and leave. We know they'll screw something up, but let's just not say anything. I said, against my better judgment, fine. He'd worked hard. I won't say anything. And I meant it. I had no intention of saying a word. So we walk in, maybe 2 cars in the parking lot, if that. And I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. We're going to eat in peace. Nobody in here. Maybe they won't screw anything up if we're the only people here. But no, we still had to wait to be seated. Like they had to find the right table. All of them virtually were empty, I think, except for maybe one. Because apparently rules are rules. So we're standing there, hungry, tired. And I look around, and there's about 6, probably teenagers, working towards the back. They're all in the back there joking around. And one middle-aged woman who looked like she had to be the manager or in charge at least. And those teenagers, they saw us walk in. They looked at us a couple times and just kept right on doing what they were doing while we were standing there. Finally, the manager comes up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. Test number 1. Ma'am, we've been standing here long enough to start aging, but no, I didn't say that. Just thought it because I made a promise. So we get seated. This is about 30 minutes into it. No lie, about 30 minutes. One of the girls comes up. She's probably about 17 years old. Ponytail flipping. She's chewing gum. Just completely unbothered by life. Carefree. We order the all-you-can-eat setup. It's not a buffet, but it's a thing on the menu where you can get fish, chicken, or shrimp and some sides and their drinks. And you can reorder anything on that or switch from chicken to shrimp, whatever. Anyway, we ordered that, and then we wait. And wait. And wait. We finally got our drinks. And when I tell you I drank that drink like it was life support, gone. That Diet Coke, I think maybe just one big long slurp on the straw. I was so thirsty and so tired. Just gone. So now I'm sitting there, empty glass, waiting on my food. By this point, we've been there about an hour. And more waiting. Finally, food comes out. And to be fair, it looked good. And it was what we ordered, which was a huge rarity. Hot, steaming, cooked right. I'm thinking maybe there is something to not fussing. And I thought maybe this is turning around. And then I realized I had no silverware. So now we have to ask for silverware and a refill. which takes even more time. About 10-15 minutes to be exact. And by the time the silverware gets there, the food has gone from hot to barely warm. Still no drink. So I said nothing, still true to my word because I promised. So I eat that food dry, choke it down without a drink. No drink. Just determination and starvation. That's about it. And at this point, we've literally been there an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Restaurant's about to close in a few minutes. It's getting close to, I think, 10:30, quarter to 11. And I think, you know what? I just want one thing done right. I'm going to order me. This is where I went wrong. Pushing the limits. So I say very politely to the waitress, because I still wanted my refill, can I also just get a reorder for a chicken thigh? You don't have to bring me a whole plate full of chicken. All I need is just one piece. This is where I went wrong, because she says, oh, sure, no problem. Flips that little ponytail, walks off. And I'm sitting there. My husband's smiling at me, so proud of me because I'm not complaining. And I'm still being nice. Way overrated, by the way. Still not saying anything. Really. Here she comes back out. And I can see that she's holding something. I'm not really putting two and two together. And as she gets closer, I realize this girl, it's my chicken in her hand with a glove so she doesn't burn herself, holding my food. And she walks up, and I still hadn't said anything yet, and places it directly on the table. From her hand to the table. No plate involved. No napkin, no paper towel, just chicken. And something in me literally snapped. I looked at my husband and I slammed both hands down on that table and I said, this is it. I know I said I wouldn't say anything, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and have some little teenage kid serve me like a pig at a trough. Oh man, I was hot. I can't even get a plate. I can't get utensils. I can't get somebody to drink. And somebody's just going to take their hand, I don't care about that damn glove, and slap my food down in front of me. Oh, hell no. Get me the manager now. Now. This girl is just looking petrified, and I have completely lost it. And by this point, I'm standing up because everything that I had held in was coming out, and I was furious. The manager comes running long before I said, get me the manager. And I'm pointing, this happened. This happened. This happened. First, we waited forever. No drinks. No silverware. Food's cold because I'm waiting on all this. And I didn't say anything. I sat here. I took it like a nice lady. But this right here, Oh, I am not going to be served like a doggone animal. Oh man, I was so mad. She's apologizing up and down, running back and forth, comes back. Meal is comped, obviously. Then she comes back out again after I think we're done and getting ready to leave and gives us multiple, like these little free business cards that are free meal cards, enough to feed the entire family at least multiple times, 3 or 4 times over. And she's apologizing just over and over and over. The entire time we're walking out the door, she's still apologizing. And I just want to leave. I'm furious. Now, my husband, who had begged me not to say anything, saw all that free food. And let me tell you something. He never, ever, never, ever asked me again to stay quiet. Nope, because that man is cheap. True story. I mean, just unbelievable. True. We survived it, though. Now, let me tell you about the night my kids learned a life lesson in a restaurant. And I mean a real one. Yep. This was back when they were little. Maybe all four of them, I think, were between the ages, probably between 5 and 10 years old. They were little. Four little stair steps, about a year and a half apart each, just about. Well, two were a year apart, and then one a year and a half, and one almost 2 years. Now, normally, I did not take all four of them out in public at once. It was just, it wasn't that they misbehaved that much. It was just, it was too big a job keeping track of them. Once you have more kids than you have arms, it gets difficult. And because that's not dinner at that point, that's an event. So a lot of times I'd take two. My mom might have two, and she'd go somewhere with them, and we'd rotate. Wanted everybody to have a good time, but just keep it manageable. Anyway, this night, they'd gotten a little older, like I said, between 5 to 10. And we decided we're going to take all four and we're going to go to Captain D's. Now, we used to go to Captain D's on every Thursday night after this because the kids ate free. If you bought one adult meal, two kids ate free. So the six of us were eating for next to nothing. And, excuse me, back then you could feed a whole family there cheaper than cooking at home on Thursday. So, of course, they loved going. And let me set the scene. Captain D's, it's like, if you've never been there or heard of it, if it's not in your area, it's right like in between fast food and a nicer sit down restaurant. Right in between there. You walk in, you order at the counter, you pay for your food, you go sit down, they give you a little number and they call your number when it's ready. And you go back up to the counter and you get your tray of food and you bring it back to your table. Paper plates, plastic utensils. And when you're done, you take your tray up and dump it in those big trash cans by the door. There's like two of them in a big old container. Anyway, on Kids Eat Free night, the place is just packed. And they also have this little clean plate award to where once you eat your meal, if you're a child, you take that little clean plate award back up there, show them your clean plate, and they give you one of those, the Charms blow pop suckers, the kind that has bubble gum on the inside. Not just a little cheap lollipop. It was a decent sucker. I like them. Anyway, so in their minds, they weren't just going out to dinner. This was an event. This was a reward system, and they really enjoyed it. So it was kind of a family tradition. But before we even walked in on this particular day, I had told them You better behave. Because do not embarrass me. Not going to happen. Not in public. Do not embarrass me. And I said that because in the car, they'd already been doing entirely too much. Pushing and shoving, laughing, grab acid. You know how kids are. All in the back seat. So I already knew we were on thin ice. And this was probably a poor decision on my part. But we walk in. Restaurant, like I said, is packed because it's kids eat free night at Captain D's, and every family in town is taking advantage of it, to include us. We sit down. I go get the food. I bring it back to the table. And the second I set that tray down, two of them start fighting. The second I set it down. And they're loud, very loud, arguing, pushing, right there in a full packed restaurant. Oh, hell no. Hell no. So I said, just like this, stop. Didn't yell, didn't raise my voice, just that one word and that look. You know the look. All moms have that look when they're getting serious. Stop. They didn't stop. So I stood up. I don't repeat myself. I picked up the tray. Every bit of food. I put every bit of food right back on that tray. 6 meals. Mine, my husband's, all 4 of theirs. And my husband, he is looking at me. I mean, with this worried look. And I know what he's thinking. He already knew. He already knew. Because the look on his face said, my money is fixing to go in that garbage. He knew. There it goes. Anyway, I did not say a word. Nope, I did not. I walked over to the trash can and dumped every single plate, one at a time, right into the garbage, with everybody just staring right at me. Then I turned around and I walked out that restaurant, right straight to my car. I did not say a word. I did not look back behind me. I just walked straight to my car, opened the door, got in, shut the door. Now, here they all come. My husband first, looking almost as nervous as the kids were. And then all 4 of them, all in a row like little baby ducks, filing out right behind them. Wide-eyed, very quiet, abnormally quiet, looking back and forth at each other like, what just happened? They're in shock. They get in the car, and that whole ride home took about probably 10 minutes, not far from there, but a good 10 minutes, complete silence, not a word. I keep looking in the rearview mirror, and they're side-eyeing each other, rolling their eyes. They come by that honestly. A little shell-shocked, I think, but not one word. We get home. I get out of the car. I walk inside. Don't even look at them. Don't say a word, not anything, to anybody. I go straight over to the kitchen. I grab 4 paper towels. And I get out the peanut butter. And I go to the fridge and get the jelly. and I make 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I set them down in front of each one of them, and then I said, first thing I'd said, you're going to eat this, and when you're done, you are going to wash your hands, you're going to wash your face, brush your teeth, and go straight to bed. And don't you ever, ever embarrass me in public like that again. There are people in that restaurant who work hard every day. They work hard and spend their hard-earned money to enjoy one meal. And you do not, I repeat, you do not have the right to ruin that for them. Absolutely not. You get exactly what you deserve, and what you deserve tonight is that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you enjoy that, and then you get your butts to bed. I told them good night. I turned around and went to bed. The next morning, I acted like nothing had happened. I woke up smiling, singing them their little song, their little good morning sunshine. I didn't bring it up again. And I waited. And I waited 3, 4 weeks, maybe. Could have been longer. But long enough that they thought that they may never go out in public again. Then one day, we went back to that same Captain D's. And let me tell you something. Those children were absolutely perfect. Perfect. Polite, well-behaved, respectful. And I never, ever had to do that ever again. Not one more time. People, as a matter of fact, used to come up to me after that, especially older folks. And they'd say, oh my goodness, your kids are so well behaved. And they're so little. I've never seen 4 little kids that behave that well in public. How did you do it? And me, I would just smile. And I'd just say thank you. I never answered that question. I'd just smile and say thank you. Now, my kids, sometimes they'd be looking at me like they were really worried that I was going to answer that question. Because every time someone asked that, they were scared. Because they knew. They didn't forget that lesson for a long time. And I know they're sitting there thinking, please, Mom, don't tell them, don't tell them. But I never did. I never told them. Of course not. I mean, it wasn't my intention to embarrass my children, because the point was to teach them. The point was respect for other people and for yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. They still acted crazy at home. Oh, Lord. All the time. Drove me up a wall. Matter of fact, there were several times my husband, we'd comment on it. And I'd say, well, they act good in public. And my husband used to say, oh, I wish they'd act good at home and act like shit in public. No, I sure didn't. I would have been mortified. Of course, ideally, if we could have them some peace and quiet at home and have them act good in both places, that would have been great. But, you know, kids are kids. They can't be perfect all the time, that's for sure. I mean, that's just the way it is. And they did really well out in public. And besides, other people don't deserve that. They didn't choose to have them. They're my kids. So, you know, if they're going to act up, they can do it at home. So, yeah, we've had roaches, hand-served food, overpriced disappointment, public parenting lessons. But every now and then, you find a good one. And when you do, when you find that good restaurant, trust me, you appreciate it. You appreciate that good server. You appreciate that good food. Meanwhile, Grammie Tammy will be over here checking light fixtures, watching hands, judging your table cleanliness like it's an Olympic sport. If you made it this far, because I know this has been a little bit long, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. Please, please, please. It helps me so much. Like, you just can't believe how much that would help. And I'm going to be posting 2 videos a week here on YouTube. I think that's a good rhythm to get into. If you want more in between, you can always find Grammie Tammy over on Facebook. She has a page there too with some short stories and some daily chaos. I think it's Grammie Tammy Raw and Uncensored, I believe is what it is on Facebook. It could be Grammie Tammy Official there too. But I'll have to check that out and let you know in the comments, because clearly I've got a lot more to say. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.